you all the information about medicine you could ever want in the world, right? What page were we on? I'm sorry, I can't remember. It was the dorky joke, right? All right, the dorky joke. Let's see what it says here. One what? 40 what? 49. Thank you. All right, page 149. What do you call the tending of rabbits? What's the dorky answer? Hair care. Ha, ha, ha,
hey,
ha.
Everyone who Googled it, raise your hand.
Okay, good. All right. Now, though, if some of you probably Googled it or some of you heard your friends say hair care, I don't care that you solved the riddle or you heard the riddle. Are there any questions on the actual mathematical problems on that page? Yes. Number 5? Okay. Problem number 5 says, match the equation to the graph. Okay. That's a really good question to ask. Thank you for asking this one. So, actually, what I'm going to do on this one, rather than try and search out the graph, I'm just going to go ahead and graph it and see if we can make my graph up here look as closely as the one on your paper. So I'm going to go under math. I go under here. I go under Cartesian. Okay. This is a straight line, but I don't have both letters. So it's either vertical or horizontal. Which is it? It's a horizontal line. Is it solid or dotted? Dotted. Does everyone feel okay with that? It's a horizontal line up here at 5, and it's dotted. So what would you tell me about 0, 0 in relationship to this line? Is it under it or above it? Below? Everyone good with that? You see okay? Okay. All right. This line is all set up to be graphed, so it has a y-intercept of -1. And then I'm going to go up 1, right 1. And I could keep going if I wanted to. Oh, is this one solid or dotted? It was solid. Everyone agree? Okay. Is 0, 0 kind of on the left upper part of this blue line? So I'm going to use that as a test point to figure out what the heck I want to shape. Okay? So I get 0, 0 right here. So I'm going to plug it into this first one. If I plug 0, 0 into this first one, well, I only have a y value, so I'll plug the y0 into it, which is the same as the x0. Is 0 less than 5? Is that true or false?
Yes.
Yeah, totally true. So that would mean that if I were going on my shading thing, that means it's all underneath here. Does it bother any of you if I miss spots? Does it bother you that I miss spots, or is it that you wanted to take more time to watch?
Slower?
My OCD. It's
all right, there we go. So right now, my solution is either in this region here or my region right here. Agree? Okay, let's take that same 0, 0, and let's plug it in right here. So I'm going to get 0 is greater than or equal to 0 minus 1. So 0 greater than -1. Is that true or false?
Yes.
Okay, so what side of the line is that 0, 0 on? Is it above my blue line? So this right here, being I plugged this point in, this gave me a true. That means if I plug any point in over here, it's going to be true. Okay? So I'm going to do my highlighter. And I'm going to go, this is my region I want right here. So technically, this is all up here too, but I'm looking for only the green region, because that would everything up here would have been above my. No, I guess that's supposed to be green too. I guess I need to bring yellow into that. Cool. So this right here. This right here is where my answer would exist. So that appears to be letter A on our graph. Cool? Did y'all do it? Being you're here, I'm putting a 4 out of 4 on there.
Yeah.
Putting a 4 out of 4.
what do you need?
All right. Go, buddy. Hey.
Hey there. I don't know how to pronounce that first name.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. We found it on the floor.
Oh, that was on the floor. Got your homework.
Just saw it.
Well, I don't know how to pronounce it either. I just call him Fred.
What has his hands?
Oh wait, are we missed? Hey, did I take a roll?
Nope.
She's here too. She just did.
Someone sit behind you.
Oh, Sophia.
Oh, okay.
She's trash.
You're good.
Looking like Tangled right now.
Even with the times.
Okay. So, my friends, I know there's bitter thoughts to this. Better thoughts to what we're going to be working on today. And it makes you normal to have kind of bitter thoughts about this, but we're going to start working with word problems. Now, let me just ask you all this. And please be honest, and you don't have to be sarcastic, but let's face it, if we were taking a test and you had all these problems done, and then all of a sudden you come to a word problem, would you think about skipping that problem?
Yes.
No, some would say,
So easy.
some would say, I'm in, I'm going to do it. Some of you see word problems, you're like, oh, and you get that anxiety, start sweating, right? I mean, that's all. But everything about that makes you normal. Now, I can tell you that there's all these studies of this is what's wrong with our students. Well, there really isn't anything wrong with any of you. So let me put that out first. What always kind of concerns me. Oh, thank you for having that. I will get that in for you. What really concerns me is people who claim to be professionals of teaching. A lot of them have never really ever taught. Or they taught and they hated what they did, but they had no other thing to do with their degree other than to get out. And then now they're going to sit there. We're going to do research. And so they'll sit there and put out all of this information. And then they'll start breaking it up into demographics. Now, so I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to go talk one more thing in the cadaver. Take a look around you. We have all different color people, right? You want to know what everyone looks like on the inside? The exact same. Okay? So it drives me crazy when they start trying to break up people and say, oh, you know what? We are finding that this person who is, Irish American has one parent's grandfather's name Harold. He can't do word problems. And you're like, oh, must be this Harold thing. I mean, that's how ridiculous some of them get. It's like, hey, this kid wears Nikes. His mother's name is Joyce. And he happens to be of Northern Cherokee descent. And he's having trouble with word problems. Like, oh, they all must. No, I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, everyone looks the exact same on the inside. And what I really hope we get out of this little talk is you look for the gifts of what each and every person can bring, period. And unfortunately, we live in a society that has barriers every which way. And I really try to live my life, and I can't tell you I am an ideal person by any means, but things I know and things that changed me. The biggest thing that changed me as far as being a teacher was having my own kids. Because I will tell you, in earlier years of my teaching, I probably said a lot of the wrong things to kids. Not negative, bad, but I might have been like, quit being a dummy or this and that. And the kid's like, oh, I was feeling like bad. I was coming to you because you're my favorite teacher. Now you call me a dummy. Not calling any of you dummies, just to know that. But having my own kids made me start realizing, wow. And it started me doing this. Gosh, I hope. So anytime any of you come up to me and you have some sort of problem, issue, idea, upsetness, anything like that, I I always think to myself, if this was my own kid in front of me, how would I want my kid's teacher to answer the question? So it's changed me considerably. And I don't by any means think I was a bad teacher. It's just I started realizing, and this is when I was in my 40s, okay? Actually, we started having kids when we were in our 30s, but when they're, this tall and, still poop themselves, and they're like, I don't know. When the kids start developing a personality, things kind of change. So, my issue with the world of education, in which you guys are in the world of education, but the people who are making the decisions, they want to find out why kids do bad or do poorly with word problems. And does it mean people are lazy? No. And some people can read a book and gain an unbelievable amount of stuff out of the book. Me, when I was in high school, we would read a book. I'd read about the first 5 or 6 lines each page, keep flipping, hoping I got the general idea. And I kid you not. Why did I do it? Because when I was in high school, I could not stand to read. I love to read now. What changed? I don't know. I got older, I guess. I have no idea. When I was a kid, I was interested in what my buddies were doing. Dude, what's Matt doing? It's like, I could read a book. Hey, Matt's out front playing basketball. Dude, I mean, seriously, that was me growing up. Okay? So what is wrong with you all in word problems? I will say nothing. So I want to put that on the table first. So don't think that there's something wrong with you because the person next to you might comprehend a word problem better than you. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? And I don't think there's a whole lot of teachers that have the guts to say something like that. Okay? Now, if they do, good. Let me know who those teachers are because I want to start hanging out with them. Because they're good people. Okay, so word problems. So we're just going to, we're baby stepping into this. So we're going to start dealing with unknowns, X and Y. We use X and Y because we're probably going to represent 2 different items. And those would be called variables. And then we're going to try and set up some sort of equation. And then we're going to solve the system of equations. And then we kind of have to check the solution, meaning we can plug our solution back into each of the questions to make sure it gives us something in the context of the problem. Okay? Now, this kind of problem brings anxiety. This brings an unbelievable amount of anxiety because you're like, oh my gosh, there are 3 sentences up here. For those of you who don't see it, each one ends with a period. There's my 3 sentences, and I'm just being sarcastic on that. But there's 3 sentences here, and for the majority of you, that's like 2.5 sentences too long. Okay, it makes you normal. Okay, so I want to just take this one little chunk at a time. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the question. Now, what's really goofy is in elementary school, they probably told you, hey, start writing the numbers down you see in the problem. You're like, oh, there's a 5 and there's a 26. And then your teacher's like, what about twice? And you're like, it's not a number, it's a word. Right? Okay, so let's just read it first. No writing anything down. It says one number is 5 more than twice another number, or twice another. The sum of the 2 numbers is 26. We want to find the numbers. Okay. How many numbers are we talking about in this problem? 2. You have one number that happens to be 5 more than twice another number. So I have this number and I have this number. This number has some bigger or smaller operation that's taking place to it. Good so far? Question?
Is it X times 2X?
I don't know. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm just going to highlight that first question. That's all I'm going to do. I don't want to do anything else fancy to this. I'm going to dim the light so you can see my highlighted fancy stuff. Okay? Okay, so let's try and decipher this. What is the meaning of this? One number is 5 more than twice another number. So can everyone feel comfortable saying, I think we're talking about 2 different numbers here. That's it. Does that make sense? And I know I'm kind of tippy-toeing it, but a lot of times they might have added information to word problems and then sometimes might have just enough. Okay? So, one number, well, what number is it? I don't know. I'm just going to assign that one number right now to be X. And now we start deciphering, going, hey, I know is in math means equal. Now you get the one kid going, how is and equal the same thing? They're not the same word. I understand. It's just at some point, some mathematician married an English major, and they're like, let's make some vocabulary for math. Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I'm just being sarcastic again. Okay, let's see if we figure this out. 5 more than twice another. So can I call the another y? So what does 5 more than twice another mean in your thought?
Plus 5.
Yeah, so plus 5 is definitely taking place in there. And then twice another. Yeah, I'm going to double it or times it by 2. I hate to tell you all this, but we just formed our first equation. Okay? Now, I'm going to use my highlighter. I'm going to use a different color now. And maybe we do this one. That probably won't work as well. Let's see. The sum of the two numbers is 26. So let's decipher what the heck that means. Sum means what in math? Addition. So sum means, hey, we're going to add things together. The sum of the two numbers is 26. Okay. Oh, wait. I know is means equals, right? All right. So right now, what are my two numbers? What am I using as my two numbers? X and Y. So the sum of my two numbers is 26. So now I'm really sort of, does this kind of look like one of those equations we've been working on the other day? Okay, because now they want us to find the numbers. So we're going to come up with x equals something and y equals something. Agree? So we'll reserve this corner for our answer. Okay? All right, let's see if we can work this out. So how do you think we should work it out? What do we know? What do we know definitely happens? What does the top equation say?
2y.
What about 2y plus 5?
That equals x.
This right here, that's equal to x. So if I take that and I substitute it in right there, I'm going to get 2y plus 5. Don't forget that this y equals 26. Do you agree with that? Does this have like terms in it? Yeah, I have 2y and y, which gives me 3y. Everyone feel comfortable with that? And then subtract 5. So if I subtract 5, that becomes 21, right? So y is what? 7? Okay. Sweet. So if y is 7, I can either plug it in right here, or I can plug it in right here. It's going to be the same answer. I don't care where you plug it in. I might pick the top because I'm trying to find x. That was the y, but I'm going to put 7 in because that's what we found. Guess what we just completed? Our first word problem. Is there anything functionally wrong with us on this? I don't know. I kind of walked through it. Did I go through real fast? No. Why didn't I? Because some person out there who hasn't been in the classroom for the past 25 years, who hated kids, is doing research that might have fabricated data that says there's something functionally wrong with today's youth that can't do math. I beg to differ. No applause, just for money. Feeling all right? Can I move on? Okay, so now we have a little bit bigger problem. Okay, let's not let it panic. Let's actually kind of put everything down and just take a look at it and say, okay, this is a little story. Okay, so it says on Monday, Joe bought 10 cups of coffee and 5 donuts at his office, and he paid $16.50. So does everyone understand that first question? I don't know why Joe bought 10 cups of coffee and 5 donuts, but I know he paid $16.50 for it. If he's truly drinking 10 cups of coffee and eating 5 donuts, I don't know, he's the guy I want to hang out with because, dude, anyone put down 5 donuts, that's got to be fun on that sugar high going, woo-hoo, yeah! Okay. Oh, okay.
All over the defendant.
Well, what if it's not?
Then he's a fan.
I wouldn't hold any judgment if some dude drank 10 cups of coffee and ate 6 or 5 donuts. All right.
Jacob.
Now that's our first sentence. Our second sentence says, it turns out that the donuts were more popular than coffee. Oh, it did. He is handing it out to people. On Tuesday, he bought 5 cups of coffee and 10 donuts, and he paid $14.25. So things that I know that students might look at and say, well, did he go to the same place? Maybe it's a different price each day. Well, let's take away the nope. I think that Joe happened to go to the same place. Okay, so let's figure out, using our highlighter, this first question. Okay, does it really matter that it was a Monday? Has nothing mathematically to do with this problem, right? So he bought 10 cups of coffee. Let's do this. If I call coffee C, would that be okay?
Yes, because it stands for coffee.
There you go. And then 5 what?
D.
D for donuts. Why aren't we using X and Y? I don't know. We're getting cutesy. We'll use C and D. C and D can be variables just like X and Y.
Equals 6 and 5.
And he spent $16.5 on this this binge fest he's got going on. All right. So then the second problem. It turns out that the donuts were more popular than the coffee. Is there anything mathematical in that sentence right there that we need to gain out of this problem? I don't think so. It's just kind of nice to know that more people like donuts than coffee. Okay? So then he decides to change things. So he says on Tuesday, he bought 5 cups of coffee and 10 donuts for a cost of $14.25. Okay? So does it matter that it's Tuesday? Could he have said, hey, should I show up on a different day of the week? Yeah, the Monday and Tuesday has nothing to do with the problem. Even though some students will try and put stuff in there, and that makes it normal. Okay, so on Tuesday, he bought 5 cups of coffee, so 5C plus, help me out, 10D equals what? $14.25. Okay? So how much was each cup of coffee? Are they asking for the price of the donuts?
No.
So I'm just trying to figure out what the cost C is. I want to get C all by itself. Okay? Could the problem have asked how much does each cup of coffee cost and how much each donut costs? Absolutely. But this one just says, hey, how much was each cup of coffee? Okay.
No, not the cover.
Oh, well, I like how you're thinking, but that'd be if we were graphing it. You're absolutely right. But I think elimination might work better because they're lined up in columns, right?
Get out of here.
So a lot of students, you see how I have the C's, then I have the D's, and then I have like no variable.
Yeah.
So these are kind of lined up. So I kind of want to figure out what C is equal to. So I can do this a number of ways, but let's just say, let's get rid of D. I'm going to get rid of my D's. So what should I multiply the whole top row by? So when I add it to the bottom row, the D's
Negative.
go away.
-2.
-2, I love it. And it's negative because I want an opposite value. Thanks so much. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by -2. So I'm going to bring this down here. So I get -20C minus 10D equals 33, -33. I think I did that right. Cool? Almost done with this one. So then I got 5C plus 10D.
You got a minute left.
I'm doing the best I can.
You can do it.
Thanks for the faith. All right, 14.25.
Shut up.
That's 15. Oh, I haven't added them together yet. So if I add them together, I get -15C equals -18.75. There's a decimal down there. Divide each side by 15.
-15.
And it's negative divided by negative, so $1.25 is each cup of coffee. $1.25. All right, so guys and girls, can I ask you to do this? I want you to, what do we say we do? Excuse me.
So funny. No one
All right.
did that.
Would it be horrible if I asked you guys to try
Down left.
page 155? Page 155, problem number 1. That's it. Yeah. Got it?
Wait, aren't we supposed to turn this in?
I'll give you credit right now for it. So, is that last time's homework?